Here is another lesson with an example IELTS question and audio, again with a focus on the strategies used to answer the questions. Before we take a look at our question in this lesson, here is a quick strategy tip for you. Whilst listening to the IELTS audio playback, you can make as many notes as you like on your IELTS listening question sheet. It may be that you're unable to answer all questions, but your note may help you find the correct answer. Now, not all students find taking notes a useful strategy, as people can often lose focus on the audio, but it's definitely something that you could try to help you answer questions in the IELTS listening test. Let's move on to our question in this lesson. So, as before, it's very important that we look over the information and questions given to us before the audio is played. So, let's take a look at our question. Questions 1 to 4. Write no more than 3 words or numbers. So, in this question example, an answer of 1, 2, or 3 words is fine, but 4 or more and we'll score 0 marks. So let's take a look through the questions and highlight some key words. Anthony Burgess is one of the most influential writers of the century. Now, by reading this, I can see that there is going to be a century given in the audio extract. I'm going to circle century. Question number 2. He was born on the 25th of February 1917. Now for this I could circle the date, or simply I could circle born, because I know that there is going to be the name of a place coming up in the audio. So I'll just circle born and I'll listen carefully for the name of a city or a town. Question 3. His childhood and earlier years were described as losing most of his close family. Here I'll circle earlier years, which will help me focus on information given about Anthony Burgess's childhood. Number 4, Anthony's most famous book was published in 1962. Now I'm assuming that the missing words here are the name of his famous book. So I'm going to circle famous book and listen very carefully for the name of this book. So through reading these questions, I'm assuming that the audio is going to be a short description of this person's life, a famous writer called Anthony Burgess. Let's hear the audio now and see if you can answer these questions too. Anthony Burgess is considered one of the greatest British writers of the 20th century. He was born in the English city of Manchester on February the 25th, 1917, to Catholic parents. Anthony described his family as reasonably affluent and his parents were shopkeepers. As a youngster, he was often alone and sadly both his parents and sister died at a young age. He rose to prominence as a sergeant during World War II, which many believe influenced his later writing. His most famous novel, A Clockwork Orange, depicting a dystopian future of aggressive youths, was published in 1962 to much acclaim. So let's take a look at our answers for this audio segment. Number 1 is 20th century. Number 2 is Manchester. Number 3 is alone. And number 4 is A Clockwork Orange. Here is the audio script with highlighted location of the answers given. If you would like to have a read through this script, then of course please do pause the video and you can also go back through the audio reading earlier in this lesson. The most important thing to remember is to read the information and questions given to you before the audio is played. By doing so, you'll be a lot more prepared to answer the questions given.